It is no longer news that former Assistant Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, has been decorated by President Muhammadu Buhari as the Acting Inspector General of Police at the Presidential Villa at Abuja. Now, with his wealth of experience as a one-time Director of Peacekeeping Operations and also the over 1 decade of service at Interpol, expectations are high for the new police boss. Now, what are the challenges before the new IGP? That's Inspector General of Police now, with the 2019 elections just about a month away. And we're looking at so many things happening around the country, issue of insecurity generally. What moves is expected to make to effectively tackle most of the security challenges currently facing the country? North, South, East and West, nowhere is spared. We'll be back to discuss this issue as I join my guests in a moment. My name is Blessing Abu. Welcome to the program. In the studio to discuss the Acting Inspector General of Police and the task before him, I'd like to welcome retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Osiniwa. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Joining him on set is Alhaji Ibrahim Modibo, another regular face on our program. Of course, he said he's a retired journalist. I said, no, journalists don't retire. So he's here in his capacity as a journalist and also he comments on public issues. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Happy New Year to you guys. We've not seen you at least last year actually.
Thank you.
Yes, so much for us to actually talk about when it comes to security, and for a new police boss, definitely this task is huge. Ibrahim Modibo, what do you think?
Well, thank you very much for this invitation, and I'm so happy to talk on this issue that's attracted a lot of media attention in barely 48 hours or so ago.
Thank you.
I want to commend the President for this choice. I think Mohammed Abubakar Adamu is a police officer with track record of achievements, a very sound, highly intelligent police officer that has been able to, go through the rudiments of policing, modern policing, so to say. This is a man, although I've not met him personally, but from the profile I've read, we find a gentleman police officer that is well read, with comportment, a man of courage and courage, and also one police officer that has been able to pay his dues, because never in any place that he served was he attracted to the burning desire of corruption. We've not received any report on it, and I've not been in all my research. I've not found anywhere that has been found wanting in terms of clean record of achievements. And having traversed from almost all the segments of modern policing, so to say, within the Nigerian context, and even outside Nigeria, we'll find out that this is a man that has been able to achieve a lot in terms of operational modus operandi of the policing, in terms of operational capacities, in terms of detective profiling, and also in terms of modern policy to conform with the global trend of policing. Now, I also want to wish Idris the best of luck. He has done his best, but I'm sure the best is not best enough. And therefore, as he retires, I wish him good luck. Having said that, Mohammed, the new IG, has a lot of challenges that I want to look at. First and foremost, as he said, he is a professional. There is how to revolutionize the modern policy of Nigerian police. You see, I wanted to change the narrative. The police is a friend, but most Nigerians do not consider the police as friend.
Okay. We'll find out why. Well, good enough we have a retired police person, officer too, in our midst. And for you, having served, of course, in the force as well, what is it what is the basic training an officer is expected to receive to actually combat crime and also to rise to today's kind of challenges that you find?
Today's contemporary policing, is robust. And when it comes in terms of training, there are a number of areas that a police officer is expected to develop some level of expertise for him or her to be able to deliver policing services. It needs to have adequate knowledge in crime prevention. It needs to have a lot of knowledge in community safety. He needs to have knowledge in an administration. He needs to have intelligence knowledge. He needs to have knowledge of patrols, so that in engaging with members of the community, he is able to give them assurance and reassurance, and also able to partner with them. So today we talk about contemporary policing, we talk about community policing, and how it can deliver the services that most of our people expect from the police. So I know that the current Inspector General of Police, the new Inspector General of Police, comes with a lot of knowledge and expertise, you know, having worked in various areas of the Nigerian police and delivered, and also worked at the international levels where he has had a lot of contact with international police forces and organizations around the world. So we that were in the service and have retired are confident that we have somebody, and like he said in his speech, that is going to provide purposeful leadership, is going to provide motivational leadership. And I think that at this point in time, that is the kind of leadership that the Nigerian police needs to have to move forward.
All right, I know each time we get this change of baton from one officer to another, yes, every one of them has this verve to talk about, okay, this is the redirection. Of course, they've been serving alongside other outgoing or outgone officers. So what do you see from this particular officer? Perhaps you might have worked together at one point or the other, and how do you see his pedigree to actually rise up to what we have today? Because these are some of the things either the predecessors will have talked about in his first instance.
You know, sometimes we say that if you want to assess a man, look at what he has done before. And just like Modibo has said, he's somebody that has served in all the areas he has served. He has left marks of accomplishments and performance excellence that I'm sure informed the president to appoint him into this position. So he comes with a pedigree that the police needs at this particular point in time. And like I was discussing in the office today, when I went to the office to congratulate him, I spoke to some officers. I said, at this time, there's deep seated pain in the police that have been created over the years.
What kind of pains are those pains?
You know, I mean, these are pains that are in the public in terms of promotions, which are very sensitive. Okay. You've had people complain about promotions. You have people complain about postings within the police, and all kinds of management systems that a number of people were not comfortable with, that did not follow laid down procedures. And you know, so
how does it bother us as a people?
It bothers us as a people.
That kind of attitude, the kind of sentiments the officers will be exhibiting, how does it
bothers members of the public, because if a policeman is not handled the best way that he should, of course you know that the brunt of his anger will be on the people. If a policeman is happy, he translates that happiness to the areas he's policing, to the people that he has responsibility of managing.
Isn't that what we have been saying?
Well, I will not say in certain areas, not in all areas. You know, we are not a perfect system. We are not a perfect organization. There are areas that the police has performed very well and is performing very well. There are certain areas that need some kind of adjustment, maybe in terms of training, in terms of policy, direction, or in terms of even the leadership giving the necessary direction and vision that the organization needs and the followers of that organization needs.
Okay, Mr. Ewa, that's we've talked about area of welfare, motivation, and also a reorientation for men of the force. Now, Alhaji Modibo, let's take a look at other areas. We've seen the wave of insecurity from north to south. The Boko Haram, it's there. The farmer herders clash is also there. Aspect of kidnapping, name it. What do you want to see with the new IG, of course, bringing on board?
Well, this is like a memo, you know, to the new IG from me. You see, based on the interactions I've had with police officers, who I have many as my friends, I've come to realize, like the AIG rightly stated, the issues surrounding the issue of promotion is very sentimental. Never in the history of police force, Nigeria police has been so divided as it is at the moment. Because you find juniors within 3 years, they've been promoted 2 or 3 times. And that brings down the morale of officers, especially the senior ones. They will not be happy. And once the police is not happy, there is that resultant consequences of them descending on the public. So now, what I want this IG to do is to look at very fundamental issues. One, there is this issue of the relationship with the National Assembly, because it has been affecting their budgets. Especially there's a bill now on security trust fund. Under normal circumstances, that security trust fund is supposed to be a fund that the police could be able to draw, apart from the normal budgeting, draw funds for the running of the police. But it has not been passed. 2, he has to look at the issues of training. The issue of training is very paramount, because for you to develop the police to conform with the global trend of modern policing, you must give him education, you must train him. 3, the issue of SARS. The issue of SARS and the trampling on fundamental human rights of Nigeria must be looked at critically. He has to look at the issue of SARS, because for long people have been complaining that SARS have not really been articulated in such a way that it could conform with modern policing. But this is an area he has to look at. And also the issue of detectives. We have to have a well-informed and well-trained detectives. Because if you look at all this cattle rustling and this thing, as the AI just rightly said, there is the need for people to have, especially the police, to have this synergy with the populace at the grassroots. We used to have in those days CIDs that were shoe shiners, that were grass cutters, you know, but at the end of the day, they bring results. But now you find somebody, there is a CID, you see him with police, how do you track the criminals? So it seems as if that strategy is not working. So this new IG must look at the issue of getting a well-informed detective department that conform with modern policy. Now, if you look at the issue of this cattle rustling and what have you, especially in Zamfara, herdsmen, banditry, herdsmen, farmers clash, these are also areas that the new IG must critically look at. Because you see, the police is an integral part of society. They are part of us. They are our brothers and sisters. Anything that happens to the police will not be happy. But the police must also make sure that as people that are paid with our commonwealth, they must look at the issues from a pragmatic viewpoint. They have to look at the society as a dynamic society that needs their protection. Because as we've seen in the days gone by, we've seen a lot of problems cropping here and there in almost all of the states. Then also, I want him to critically examine the issues surrounding, you know, this training that has to do with this Boko Haram. I could remember the other time, not long ago, some policemen had to run away from...
Yes, those ones that protested in Maiduguri.
Yes, the protests. You see, we've not had a situation where police protest openly because of either allowances or salaries. So this is a very, very fundamental issue.
Anyway, we'll take
that he has to look at.
All right, we'll take a look at this particular one you've raised, as well as other areas of interest that we want, or at least the public is expecting the Acting Inspector General of Police to look into as a matter of urgency. We're going on a break now. We actually spoke with some Nigerians or residents of the Federal Capital Territory earlier on, and I'm sure you want to know too what they think the new Inspector General of Police assignment should be. You're watching Nigeria Today. Let's get to this straight.
For the new IG to be selected, you understand, among the best, he should first of all count himself as a privilege to be in that position. And police as a force, as an institution, supposed to be a disciplined institution. Beyond being disciplined, police force is supposed to be a law enforcement organ. If that is the case, then rule of law must be paramount.
The police need to be reorganized. You look at what happened in the former elections, you know, the role police played. But I like the way because he started with on a good note. All the transfers and all the things the former IG did, he recorded them back. You know, that shows that he has something to do. But the most important thing is that let him reposition the police to where it were before.
I would just advise him to do the right thing. Let him not use religion or sentiment or tribalism. Let him do the right thing.
The issue of Boko Haram, killing here and there should stop, and there should be this security consciousness in every state and every locality.
We should understand that it's not only Islam that is the Boko Haram, it's a combination of both Islam and Christian. So you should not be tribalistic, like you should not be sentimental on it. In any area he can, to make sure that there is peace in the country.
Yeah, thank you very much. Views from the streets. They're back to us in the studio. Yes, of course, Nigerians know what they want, and at whatever point in time, all we want is security and safety at all times, whether coming from the police or other agents of law enforcement agents, as the case may be. Now, one of the areas raised, of course, which we're still going to get to anyway, is the issue of the elections, and which was part of my introduction. Now, we know some of the allegation against previous bosses. Of course, I don't want to say it's a particular one now, could have been area of partisan politics. And already the new IG is being charged to actually have this reorientation for members of police force, as well as channel their energy away from partisan politics. How do we get him, or how do we get the force generally out of that area? No, because this is one thing. He already pointed it out.
Yes.
They are members of the public as well.
The IG himself knows that one of his critical challenges now is the election. And hopefully there has been a lot of plans and preparations for this election that has been going on. And what he needs to do now is to look at the strategy that has been laid out and see how those strategies can be implemented in such a way that members of the public have confidence in the system, and also to ensure that the public trust the police in delivering in this aspect. I know that there's the tendency for politicians to try to manipulate the system, and especially manipulate the police in their direction. And I believe that with the strategies that have been laid out, that I know some of, I believe that with the leadership of this President Inspector General of Police, the police will do much more than they did in the last election in terms of providing security of the elections. I know I was in the headquarters today, and there was a lot of discussion on the threats and the risk assessments that in different states and what should be done to mitigate those threats and assessment. And I believe that with the resources that the government will give the police and the kind of leadership, and he has sent a note of warning to all police officers to be focused on the present assignment. All right.
Mr. Before I get back to Elijah Modibo, yes, you had this tete-a-tete with your colleagues across the many offices you could have visited at the headquarters today. I know in the last 2, 3, 4 years, well, let's say in the last 2, 3 years, we've had pockets of elections, states mainly, local governments or some areas. Now, this is a major election. It's for the whole country, not just particular states now. In your own estimation, are we under-policed?
Of course we are under-policed.
So how do we, because I know time past we had the election in Ekiti, we had in some Osun state, we're able to deploy such large numbers. Yeah. What do you see happening
but
with us, President, if I have to follow that, truly we are under-policed?
Yeah, we are under-policed. Given that we are under-policed, of course, there's nothing we can do right now to increase the number of the police right now. But having said that, over the years, what the police has done is to approach election from a multi-agency approach, making sure that all the military and other security agencies come under a platform and are mobilized to support election. So I don't think that the fact that we're under police, we cannot work with other agencies to deliver on the electoral promises. I can assure you that that there's a lot of talk going on, just like we've had in previous. The DSS is involved in election, the National Civil, the NSCDC, and there are other organizations, the immigration, all paramilitary agencies are mobilized. They have different levels of participation to make sure that election is free and fair.
Okay. All right, Alhaji Modibo, I talked earlier about issue of police remaining, or not to be partisan, at least this is one of the area that the new boss is charging that he would look into definitely.
Yes.
How do we get them to actually stay that way?
You see, from the onset, immediately was decorated. He was accosted by the State House Press Corps, where he stated, in clear terms, without any fear of controversy, he said, look, I'm going to allow a level playing field for all politicians to participate in a free, fair, and convivial atmosphere. Therefore, we are going to take him by his words.
Yeah, if I may quote one of his statements, we will not go outside the ethics of our job to do things that are untold. Everybody will be given level playing ground to play his or own. We're going to build up on the strategies put in place to make sure we have hitch-free elections in the country.
Wonderful. So you see, with this statement, we are going to take him by his words. And I think, based on the criteria that has been used by the presidency, because all the security agencies and whatever might have been involved in picking him up, singling him out among all his contemporaries, I am sure that he has a mission. I am sure that the president, in his own wisdom, would like to have a very free, fair, and credible elections that will be devoid of rancor, devoid of unnecessary controversy. Therefore, to pick this gentleman, because by the way you just see him, you know that, look, this is a harmless police officer that could be able to deliver. So having said that, I think he should deploy all the resources available at his disposal. His experiences, both nationally and internationally, and also some of the fortunes in terms of credibility and in terms of working within almost all the parameters of the police force. I think he's very equipped to handle this issue. Secondly, there's also a very important issue that I want us to look at. The issue of this police annual report. Since Aras's time, there was never a police annual report. And that police annual report, it is what forms the basis of National Bureau for Statistics and even researchers, academics.
So you are charging this
yes, because it tries to show the level of criminality and the level of whether it's increasing or is not. It's all contained in that annual report. And therefore, I think he should bring it up, because for people like us that are researching, it is very fundamental and is very, very distinct for development. I'm so sad that the international policy system came up with a verdict. I don't know the methodology they used, but they came up with a verdict that Nigerian police is the worst in the whole world. I don't know the parameters they use.
But this is the same Nigerian police, they'll go out there and they excel. So why are we having
so I don't know the methodology. That's why I'm saying I don't know the methodology that these people used in arriving at that conclusion. But by whatever canon they did, it was a very unfair thing. And I think this is the time now for this IG to change the narrative. He should be able to bring a police force that will conform with modern policing, that will also mold itself among the best in world policing so as to conform with global trend.
Yeah, IG, last word.
Yes, I think that the good thing we have with this new IG is that whilst he was in NIPS, he was charged with the responsibility of coordinating community policing as a practice in Nigeria, as a study amongst the students of NIPS. Yes. And I know that he did a lot of work, and I know that that is his focus as a platform for reforming the police, that community policing. And I'm sure that the federal government will sooner or later issue a directive in that direction with regards to having him to ensure that the police is prepared for community policing. And I trust and believe that we have an IG that have the capacity, both intellectual, also professional, and also international experience and local experience to deliver.
How strategic for the 20th IG of the moment?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll appreciate your comments and your insight into taking a look at this particular topic with us. So we look forward to having him burning on all cylinders, firing left and right to actually see to the fact that crime and criminal activities actually brought to bay. Well, that's our program this evening. Thank you very much for watching. We'll appreciate your time. You can also watch this particular edition or any other edition at all at youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. My name is Blessing Abu, but of course I have to thank Osiniwa.
Thank you for having me.
Retired AIG. Thank you for coming on the program. Alhaji Ibrahim Modibo, always a delight to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.